where lawmakers repeatedly voiced concerns about her immigration policy, chief among them the separation of families at the border, the detention of children, highlighted by an exchange between Nielsen and Homeland Security Committee Chair Benny Thompson just a month ago.
Trying to answer your question.
Yes or no, are we still putting children in cages?
To my knowledge, CBP never purposely put a child in a cage, if you mean a cage like this.
Purposely or whatever, are we putting children in cages as of today?
Children are processed at the border facility stations that you've been at. Some of them.
And I've seen the cages. I just want you to admit that the cages exist.
Sir, they're not cages.
When is a cage not a cage? Chairman Benny Thompson, thank you so much for being with us. This was clearly inevitable, her departure, given the way the president was treating her, and even saying that Stephen Miller, the hard-line anti-immigration advocate inside the White House, was going to be the point person on immigration from now on. But your thoughts about her formal departure?
Well, it was inevitable, Andrea. She was above her head. It's impossible to work, in my estimation, for President Trump on immigration. He has a mindset that is absolutely unimaginable as it relates to immigration. So for her, it was a job that she could not win in. She was set for failure. Unfortunately, I'm really concerned about what the future may hold now that she's out.
And indeed, to that point, first of all, the deputy acting secretary, because the deputy secretary has been long gone, the deputy acting secretary would be in line, but instead the president is reaching down to to a career person, Kevin McAleenan. Now, he's going to be acting secretary unless the deputy acting secretary legally challenges this, and she signaled to the New York Times she will. We don't know if that will happen. But take a look at all the vacancies. And I would argue that Homeland, maybe HHS is more important because of Social Security and its outreach, but HHS was a combination of 22 departments and includes so many aspects of our national security. Given the cabinet vacancies and how important Homeland is, how are you guys going to deal with this?
Well, I think it's very difficult. First of all, you have to have some people in charge. Temporary acting people won't get the job done. And if we have indeed this so-called crisis at the border, now is the time to have steady leadership. Now is the time to have leadership that's consistent. And we have just the opposite. So clearly, this administration is in a state of flux. The president continues to confuse the issues along the border. This notion of the Northern Triangle countries not being able to get support from this country only makes the situation worse. So somebody needs to sit and say to the president, Mr. President, let professionals do it. You can't do it by Twitter.
Well, he thinks that's the deep state. And Nancy Pelosi, in part of her statement, was that it is deeply alarming that the Trump administration official who put children in cages is reportedly resigning because she is not extreme enough for the White House's liking, which raises the question about Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is the person the president says he now trusts to run immigration, yet he's not congressionally confirmed. So can you mandate that he come and testify, or does he, like other members of the White House team, avoid your reach?
Well, at this point, he avoids the reach from the committee's standpoint. We have a budget that someone has to come on May 1 to defend before the House Homeland Security Committee. At this point, we don't know who that individual might be. So there are a lot of things we have to address. The real challenge for us is leadership at the top. Our men and women who are doing a good job along the border, they need sound, solid leadership. It's not there, Andrea, and unless this president steps back, gets Stephen Miller and some of the individuals who are confounding this situation out of the way, we're in serious trouble. I hope what I'm hearing, that this family separation policy is going to be ramped up again. Part of the reason we're in this trouble now is somebody had the bright idea that this was being tough on immigration. I can't see how picking on children make adults tough. So we have to move forward on this. I look forward to this administration, if they're serious, to sit down and talk to our leadership in the House on the Democratic side and say, this is what we want. But you can't do it by tweets. Men and women, adults, have to sit down and work out our differences.
Well, with all due respect, I think after 2 years, I don't think we're going to see that kind of a dramatic change. But, Congressman, I know you're going to be all over this. Thank you so much for taking the time today. We really appreciate it.